welcome to Racing to Win. This is Hong Kong's twice weekly preview show, and with the Derby run and won, we can move our focus now to Wednesday night. And as per normal, it's the C Circuit at Happy Valley. 9 races coming up this week. We're joined on the panel today by Paul Alley and Tom Warden. Tom, Romantic Warrior beats California Spangle in the Derby. Not quite Derby level, but there's another very promising type on show on Wednesday night in the name of Lucky Swayness.
Yeah, he's been very promising, Mark, in his 2 runs. He sort of set just off the pace in his first run, and then his second run he had them stretched out a fair way from home and did it in good time as well. He's just a 3-year-old, so you'd expect further improvement from him. Lucky Swayness in race number 8. There is a high chance of some rain on Wednesday night too at Happy Valley.
All right, so we'll keep an eye on the radar and what the weather's going to do. There's no jackpots either. Paul Elliott, we welcome you.
Yeah, no jackpots. Just one first starter who's California Redwood, who's actually raced in another jurisdiction as well. So we'll see him later on in the card. But it looks really even race, as you say. Lucky Swayness will come up pretty short. A couple of horses going for wins in a row. Happy Jai Jai in particular and Fortune Patrol in the first. Both horses seem to be winning them in a row at the moment.
We'll get to the last couple of races shortly. Before we go any further, Victor Wong tested positive for COVID yesterday. Now, under the strict protocols of the Hong Kong Jockey Club, riders have been reduced to basically a bubble of 4. So as a precaution, 4 riders have been stood down outside of the testing positive of Victor Wong. Jerry Chow's not riding, neither is Dylan Moe and Alfie Chan. So race 8, Roman Turbo, Pride of 8, Blake Shin and Matthew Poon. Race 9, number 6, Total Power is Matthew Poon. Important to note also that those riders that are stood down simply as a precaution, they have all tested negative to COVID-19. But the meeting certainly goes ahead, and the meeting details are as follows. With the 6:45 first 9 turf races, the rail in the extreme C+3 position, with Breeze home with 3 Class 3s, and we're going to focus on races 8 and 9 here on the show. 1,200 metres for race number 8. And we've got Roman Turbo at the top of the book. Blake Shin replaces Jerry Chow. Toronado Phantom has a good record course and distance. Diamond Brilliant wears a visor again. Lucky Swayness has won his first 2 starts and carries an extra £12 for his previous win. Meridian Genius is a last start winner. He carries an extra £6 as well. Pride of 8, who was pretty heavily supported at longer odds on debut, into 53 to 1. He went green. He steps up in trip to the 1200. Sunset Watch wears a tongue tie again. California Redwood was George Peabody for Roger Varian. Won over the 1400 at Doncaster and 1600 at Thirsk, and Dublin Star makes his Happy Valley debut. All right, so that's the starter list for race number 8. What about the speed map, Tom? Importantly, where's Lucky Swayness likely to settle?
He should land on the pace again, provided he can get away cleanly like he did last start, where he was able to get to the front and dictate from there. Flaming Passion's a horse that likes to go forward. High Rise Soldier can be handy. Doesn't look ideal, Paul, for Roman Turbo, especially coming back to the 1,200 metres.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have the pace to get across, unfortunately, so he's just going to be out of no man's land there, I thought. High Rise Soldier's got the pace to come across, though, with Lucky Swayness, and Flaming Passion can kick up. Meridian Genius has been racing well recently. He won't be too far away, and we know Diamond Brilliant likes to be a little bit handier as well.
There he is, 4th on the outside in Diamond Brilliant. We're going to start, though, with the boom horse of the night. Lucky Swayness. Zach Purton is on board, and he had a chat via Zoom to Tom.
Zach, you're right. Lucky Swayness for Manfred Mann in race number 8, unbeaten in 2 runs to date so far. You were on board for his first run. Second start you weren't, but has he given you a feeling off that debut run that he looked pretty impressive there, I thought?
Yeah, he was impressive at his first start, and he's probably even more impressive at his second start. He's a horse that he's not straightforward. He can do a few things wrong, as was evidenced in his trial. When I tried him on the dirt, he wanted to hang and run away from the other horses, and he hadn't been that great out of the gates, and he took that to his first start under lights at Happy Valley. He'd never been there before. It's always a tough ask for any young horse there. So he's a little bit slow to step, but he showed quick speed to get in behind the other horses and get in behind the lead. And then in the straight, when he had to shift back in and take the run, he took it, but he wanted to hang in, and he was a little bit wary of the other horses, and then got through there and finished the race off nicely. And then his second start, he certainly worked out how to jump. He flew out of the gates, took it up nicely. He had a really light weight. Joe just let him run, and he basically run his rivals into the ground, but he's got a lot more weight to carry this time. He's not going to be able to race in a similar manner. I'm going to have to try and harness his energy a little bit more. I think there's a little bit more pressure in this race as well, so that'll be interesting. We'll have to see how that unfolds going into the first corner, but hopefully he can begin as well as he did last time, and if that's the case, then he'll put himself in the right spot.
So for a young horse, he's still pretty raw then?
He's still a little bit raw, but he seems like he's quite a clever horse. He's obviously picked things up quite quickly, and I hope that he continues to do that.
In his morning work, sort of how do you think he's progressed since that last one, even more so since the debut that you were on board for?
Seems a little bit more switched on these days, and they've worked him out a little bit more. Instead of sending him out on his own, they quite often send him out with a work partner to follow or a partner to pick up, because he can be a little bit lazy. But that's just, part and parcel of learning the little idiosyncrasies of each horse in the stable, and they look like they're on top of it.
You've gone up 12 rating points and a further 12 pounds in the weights as well. Just being a 3-year-old, there's nowhere to hide here in Hong Kong. Is he good enough to win again?
Well, I hope so, but it's always a big ask. Whenever a horse gets slammed by the handicapper, as he was in this case, and they go from carrying those really light weights to a much heavier weight, it's always a concern. And he's a young horse. He's quite inexperienced, as we've touched on. So, it's not going to be easy for him, but, he's trending the right way, and hopefully he can just get his chance. And
just quickly harking back to the weekend, California Spangle and the Derby, now that the dust has settled a little bit. Gee, was gutsy there, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. He was all hard. He had everything against him. Obviously, the barrier draw was not ideal for him, especially going up to the 2,000 metres for the first time. We knew the distance was going to stretch him, and there was quite a strong headwind into us as we were jumping out of the gates. And then I had to press him a little bit more than what I wanted to get across, and that just fired him up. He never really relaxed and come back underneath me. Obviously, as we got around to the 1400, Roy Meyer rolled up around the outside of him and kept him thinking about it a little bit more. And then, in the straight, I had to peel him out away from the worst part of the track. He got a little bit lost. He didn't know what he was doing or what I was asking him to do. And as he balanced up, he had to fight off Money Catcher. And like I said, that wind was really strong into his face, but he just kept trying and trying and trying. And it was a phenomenal performance. He only just got beat on the line. It was a really good effort from him.
Hopefully that bird finds a mate very, very shortly. All right, let's bring up the graphic, Tom, on Lucky Sway Ness. He can't have done any more than what he's done, but he does go up, as you and Zach pointed out, a lot of weight this week.
Yeah, 12 extra pounds, 12 rating points, but look, I think he can handle it. He's just a 3-year-old, Paul, so he's doing things that we don't see too many 3-year-olds do early in their careers here in Hong Kong, especially at Happy Valley.
He's a very, very smart horse, isn't he? And look, the way he won that race, I know one of his main rivals, the Tornado Phantoms, in the race as well. But I think he had him well covered, didn't he?
He did, and he's going to give him a start this week again, likely Tornado Phantom. He's drawn 12, the grey. We move on to another grey here, Paul, in Meridian Genius. He's going well, and he's also got a very good draw. Yeah,
he's going really well, and look, they've been riding him a little bit handier, and it sort of really worked for this horse. Look, he's won. This race was pretty impressive when he did win last time, so a horse in really good form from a good draw. So, yeah, he's another one of the chances.
Yeah, he's been able to win 2 of his last 4 starts now. Of course, the form's been franked with the Eason coming out and winning since, but once he got into the clear after that good run, he really dashed strongly there.
The other thing in his favour, Tom, as we have a look at the graphic for the C+3 1200 metre start, Barrier 1 has an amazing record here, and Barrier 2 is next best.
Yeah, well, Sunset Watch, he hasn't been going that well. He's come up with Barrier 1, but Meridian Genius certainly has got plenty of claims there from Barrier number 2. You can see the stats are pretty even across the board there for Barrier number 2.
Yeah, so look, obviously the inside draws really help, and if you've got a bit of speed, that helps you a lot as well. But I just think Lucky Sway Ness can sort of take that out of the equation with his really good gate speed.
Barrier number 8 for Lucky Sway Ness. Here's Sunset Watch, who Tom just pointed out, Paul, is just going fair at the moment. And Flaming Passion's racing well. Yeah,
he is, isn't he? And he comes in with a lightweight, and he's got barrier number 6. Look, Sunset Watch, as you mentioned, he's got that inside draw earlier on. The tongue tie will go back on him. Look, he's a horse that has run okay at Happy Valley before, but his win did come up the all-weather.
Run into a couple of handy horses there, seizing the moment. He had the blinkers on, Party Warrior, who was second. Just wonder if in that run he might have been a little bit keen, but still stayed on well. He just wanted to lay in a fraction there, sort of the last 100 or so also.
We head to Chungfa now, Tom, and this is California Redwood, about to make his debut in Hong Kong on Wednesday night. He was a two-time winner in Europe before arriving. 5 trials. Now, this was his trial 2 runs ago when he was beaten a length behind Proud Dragon. What have you made of him since he's been here?
His recent trial, he was a little bit slow out. He was just leaning on the inside partition of the gate, but he kept on okay, I thought, in that trial. I'm happy to watch Paul. He was in the Britannia Stakes, a race that the Hong Kong owners like to target, and was a long way down the 29-horse field there. So I'm just happy to watch him.
Yeah, me too. Like, his wins are over sort of longer, 14, 16. I think this will be a starting point for him, the 1,200 metres. California Redwood is by Holy Roman Emperor. So, look, I think the distance is going to be the key here.
So he's not going to make it in your top 4. Paul, does Lucky Swayness win again?
Yeah, I think he can. I think Lucky Swayness, look, he did win with a bit in hand, and Joe was quite kind to him. I know he's going to carry the weight, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. And the horse learned a lot, I thought, from start 1 to start 2. Tornado Phantom will be the biggest danger, but Lucky Swayness will have the head start on him. He's in there for second. Flaming Passion from a good draw, and he'd been in a nice position. And High Rise Soldier was a nice win 2 starts ago. It was a good ride from Jack on that occasion, but look, I think he can finish in a minor place. 5, 2, 11 and 6.
Same TS as Paul. I think Lucky Swayness is going to be too tough for them here again, even though he's got the extra 12 pounds to carry. I think he's good enough to beat, again, Tornado Phantom. He made good enough ground on the straight last start. Flaming Passion boxed on, and thought Diamond Brilliant. He was sort of 3 back defence. He was travelling well, and then he was held up just on turning in and lost a bit of momentum there behind the Cody County. So 5, 2, 11 and 3.
There it is, the preview for race number 8 all done, and it's Lucky Swayness across the board. We're off to a break here on Racing to Win. On the other side of this, it's back to have a look at race number 9. Welcome back to Racing to Win as we make our way through Wednesday night at Happy Valley. We've seen race 8 before the break. It's time now to have a look at the last, which is over the 1,650. Again, it is a Class 3. Amazing 1+, Zach back on board. He's placed 2 from 3. Zone D goes up £7 for his last start win. Gift of Lifeline is a 2-time course and distance winner. Co-partner Fion makes his Happy Valley debut. Killer Instinct is on a 7-day backup. Packing Award, first time in Class 3. Viva Hunter, second time in Class 3. And Chevalier Prince, just his second trip across to Happy Valley. So we move across to the speed map once again, Tom, for the final race, running 1650 the trip, and it looks like Viva Hunter and Beauty Glory are going to fight for the lead.
Yeah, well, he's drawn barrier 5 as Viva Hunter, and Beauty Glory did lead up, or was up near the pace anyway last start, but he's been a bit disappointing since arriving here. Chevalier Prince should be handy. Paul coming to a rare Happy Valley assignment for him, and Villa Fion's just in great form at the moment.
Yeah, and he can get himself into a nice position, Villa Fion, from his low draw, barrier 3. Amazing 1+. He won't be too far away from the 1 barrier draw. And co-partner Fion has just had the 1 start. No support for him on debut, but he did run quite well on the yielding track.
Well, we're going to start is with this horse right here. It's Packing Award. Karis Teaton takes the ride. He won the Derby, of course, on Sunday. He rides Packing Award for Peter Ho, and via Zoom, this is what he told Tom.
He's actually a very nice horse. I know before he had some issue, but he's now back to himself, and I thought his last win was a very nice win. He got caught 3 deep with no cover the whole way with the heavy weight, and I thought he had the race beaten in the straight, but then he found an extra gear to go and win the race.
You had to cover a bit of ground, as you mentioned, in the run, pretty much without cover as well. Were you still sort of surprised with what he had at the end of the race?
Yeah, I thought of course he's done a lot the whole race, but he was not traveling. He was not too keen. He was nice and relaxed. He was very comfortable. So I thought, he could still give me a little bit of kick in the straight, but when you look at it again, it was a great win because not many horses can do that with heavy weight, no cover, 3 deep the whole way, and still kicking a straight. So it had a lot of effort in it, and that's something very positive when you go in Class 3 now.
Yeah, for sure. Does it worry you it might have flattened him a little bit, that sort of tough run coming into this Wednesday night?
I don't think so. He's a tough fella. He's got a bit of energy, this horse, so I think he should be okay. I haven't sat on him at work, so I'm pretty sure Peter have him in good shape going forward.
up in grade, down in weight. From all indications that he's shown you so far, is he good enough to measure up here in Class 3?
Yeah, I believe so. I do believe he's got a bit of more to show us. I think he will have his chance again Wednesday night.
Harking back to Sunday, you're now a BMW Hong Kong Derby winning jockey. Now that the dust is settled, I guess you haven't been able to really celebrate much, but what's the last sort of 12 to 24 hours been like?
Yeah, it's been fantastic actually. Of course, yesterday was a bit before going to races. Just I needed to just keep focus and just make sure I have my focus all the way through the day. Of course, I started the day just okay, and I needed to just keep on focusing into the derby. Then I have a winner before the race. My confidence actually, just got a bit more confidence going forward, and I knew I had a very smart horse to ride, and I knew if I can get him into the right place, he will do his best. And what a race to win! It's been an amazing time, and I've been here a long time, and it's been a dream, and the dream came true yesterday. So very, very happy.
Absolutely. Karis Teaton, the rider of Packing Award, and of course Romantic Warrior as well. We move on, boys, to the others in the last. And Paul, we start with Zone D, who is racing really well, but he's got extra weight on his back. He carries an extra 7 pounds. One of your favourites, Viva Hunter, takes him on again. And the other one to come out of this race is Total Power, who's still a maiden in this grade, but his last two in this class have been all right.
Yeah, good third and a fourth from him. But look, I think this can be the Quinella. I think Viva Hunter can get better run on Zone D. He does get that bit of extra weight as well, Zone D, which makes it a little bit tougher. And he's a hard horse to get past. You can see Viva Hunter, once he saw the horse come alongside him, really stuck his neck out there too. So I think they're the two main chances for me.
Yeah, he's been really honest, hasn't he, Viva Hunter? He's a son of Al Rocker. Of course, John Size has got 5 runners through the card on Wednesday night. Savvy Delight's been a little ordinary, I feel, so far. Wild West Wing, a few question marks over the distance. Seizing the moment, the blinkers really worked with him last start. Tornado Phantom has certainly got a top 3 or 4 chance, and Zone D's a definite must include in that final race with the way he's been going, Mark.
So just lighted numbers for Hong Kong's leading trainer there, Tom, but chances amongst them. We move on to Gift of Lifeline. He's beautifully rated in this race, Tom. Tony Millard, Alexi Bedell, 2-time winner over the 1650, and both off Wednesday night's rating of 69.
He went up to fast pace last start. He was pushed forward at the 900 metres, got up outside the leader, then sort of fast pace snuck away again. But geez, fought gamely on this occasion has Gifted Lifeline. Margin at the line was only a nose, just in favour of Meaningful Star. I didn't quite get him in here though, Paul. I thought there were a few other chances in the race. Yeah,
I agree. Just a little bit awkward, barrier 9. I think he might have to go all the way to the back.
Co-partner Fion is the next one, Paul. Now, this is his first start. He's been back to the trial since. We'll have a look at that shortly, but this was on this rain-affected track. And his first start, he runs third behind Gallant Express.
It was a good run. There was no support for him. He was 75 to 1 when he did run in this race. He did have heavy track form in New Zealand, so he might have been slightly flattered by the wet track coming forward. But there's definitely ability there. He's dropped 21 pounds coming into the race. So, look, I included him on a minor line.
He was coming home pretty strongly last start, but I agree with what Paul said. I just wonder about the track conditions that day with his overseas form, if that's somewhat sort of flattered to deceive there a little bit what he was able to do. So just happy to watch him back on maybe a firmer track unless there's some rain around.
And this is his trial, Tom. There he is up on the outside there as they turn for home. Does he look to have come on from that first start, off a wet track to the all-weather in this trial?
Yeah, I think he does. He's stripped a lot fitter. He's dropped 21 pounds himself. Villa Fion, rather a co-partner Fion, Wagner Borges and Chris So were here from barrier number 2. Was shaken up a little bit coming towards the 200 metres, but he was able to respond quite well, Paul.
Yeah, there's definitely some ability there. He's definitely got a good turn of foot. But that's why I did include him from a low draw. I just wanted to keep him on the safe side as well. And, there is a bit of rain forecast as well.
Viva Hunter, Zone D again, Paul. Just flip them around from last time.
Yeah, that's how I see it. So I've got Viva Hunter on top to beat Zone D. I think they can Quinella it. Co-partner Fion, the horse we've talked about. The other Fion, Villa Fion, he's been in great form recently. He's won 2 of his last 4, and he's been placed in the other 2, 11, 2, 5 and 7.
I agree with Paul, certainly around Viva Hunter. I'm certainly going to include Villafie on the way he's been racing. He was narrowly beaten last start by Red Majesty, and he's come out and won again. He lost the whip in that last start effort to rider Antoine Hamlin. He's drawn nicely again. They're the two. I think Packing Award had a really tough run last start. He's down in the weights here, courtesy of going up in grade. And Zone D, the other one, he's a must include. 11, 7, 9 and 2.
We've seen races 8 and 9, Paul. Who wins the first 7, though?
Yeah, there's plenty of other good races coming through. I thought that Fortune Patrol can win again, and I thought Happy Jai could win again. Those two horses in particular have been winning them in a row, so maybe get the card off to a good spot. E-Legend, I thought, might be a horse at a bit of value, and Pretty Queen Prawn, I don't mind him as well. I thought he could be in the right spot as well.
And you can see a breakdown in each and every one of those races at hkjc.com. Click on audio and video for race-by-race analysis. We've come to that stage of the show, Paul. Best long shot and a play, please.
Yeah, Pretty Queen Prawn. There's plenty of pace in this race. I think the horse can get across with Zach aboard, and then E-Legend should be in the right place as well from barrier number 3. He went really well up to 1650 at his last start. And the play in race 3, 1, 2 and 4, Circuit 7, Savvy Delight and Pretty Queen Prawn, QQP.
Best for me comes up in race 7, number 6 Season. The moment blinkers are on. Last start he won really well. The value comes up in one of the earlier races. Gorgeous Vitality, who I thought made up some good ground last start. Race 3, horse 7, and the Season the moment in the play there with Magic Phoenix. Nothing new, smart idea.
Best bet comes up in race 9, number 11, Viva Hunter. Gets the weight turnaround on Zone D. Real trier of a horse. Happy Sharing's drawn a gate. His first 2 starts, he's bumped into Flying Ace and Nervous Witness. From wide draws, trials have been okay. And the player QQP race 6, 2 Stormtrooper, 6 See You Again from a better gate, and 9 Excellent Peers. That has been Racing to Win for Wednesday night, Tom. We're back to Sha Tin on Sunday with a simulcast during the afternoon as well.
Yeah, Japan simulcast, and of course Saturday night the simulcast coming through from Dubai.
Yeah, and it's 3 Sha Tins in a row after this Happy Valley meeting with an all-weather meeting at Sha Tin next Wednesday night.
That has been Racing to Win, first at 6:45 Wednesday. Bye-bye.